Hello friends, welcome to Learner's Planet. Friends, this is our second session for statement and assumption. In the previous session, we discussed some questions based on the same topic. In this session, we are going to take some more questions. And here I would suggest you just pause the session when you see the question and try to solve it on your own. Right? Try to analyze the situation and just give answer on your own, then match your explanation and the correct answer and the answer with me. Okay, so let's begin this session. Now the next statement over here, films have become indispensable for the entertainment of people. Now this is the statement, and the first assumption over here, films are the only medium of entertainment. Now films, see, what does the term indispensable mean? That means necessary, like absolutely necessary, you can say. So films are really a good medium of entertainment, but it is not the only medium of entertainment. You see, when there are cricket matches or football matches, people go to watch them also, right? In fact, sometimes cricket matches have more crowd than films, right? So films are not the only medium of entertainment. No doubt, it is a very big medium of entertainment for large public, if we can say, but it's not the only medium. So this assumption is not implied. People enjoy films. The second assumption, obviously, if the films are made, the purpose of the films is to provide entertainment. So if people do not enjoy, there is no point of making films, right? So people enjoy films, that's why they are made. Okay, so this assumption is implied. So we can say that's option B, where only assumption 2 is implicit. Okay. Statement over here, A is advised to B. If you want to study accounts, join Institute Y. The first assumption, Institute Y provides good accounts education. See, over here, A is confident, or A might have heard from somewhere that good teaching of account is there in Institute Y, or it is also possible that A might have studied in Institute Y, right? Or A might have got tuitions of accounts in Institute Y, right? That's why A is advising, right? So if A is advising, that means he believes somewhere that Institute Y provides good account education. So that is implied from the statement, right? Now the second one is B listens to A's advice. If B is not ready to listen A's advice, then A would not have given the advice. Okay. There is some confidence in the mind of A that B will listen to him. That's why he's giving the advice. That's why he's making the advice, right? So even the assumption 2 is also true, or it can be implied, right? So both the assumptions are implied. So we have option E, that assumption 1 and assumption 2 both are implied. Okay. The statement over here, drop this letter in the letter box on your way to school, a mother to her son. Okay, now the first assumption over here, the child knows the address of the person to whom the letter is being sent. See, the child has to drop the letter in the letter box. He doesn't have to go to the person personally to deliver the letter, right? So he doesn't have to know the address. He need not know the address of the person to whom the letter is being sent. So this assumption is actually not at all implied. He need not know. Then the second one, the child will comply with the orders of his mother. See, if the mother is giving the letter to the child, to her child, that means there is some confidence in her mind that he will comply with her order, right? So this assumption is valid, right? Unless if she is not confident, or if she is not having confidence that her child will listen to her, she would not have given the letter to the child. Okay, so this assumption is valid, or we can say implied from the statement. So only assumption 2 is implicit. That's option B. Statement: everybody loves reading adventure stories. Now the first assumption: adventure stories are the only reading material. That's absolute nonsense assumption, right? See, I like adventure stories, but I like fiction, non-fiction, other true, very so many types of stories I like, right? I like adventure stories as well, but that's not the reading material which is available. That's not the only reading material which is available, right? So this assumption is actually not at all implied. Nobody loves reading any other material. Again, the same thing, I like other materials also, right? So this assumption, even it is not implicit. See, you don't have to think much on both the assumptions. Both the assumption, in the first glance you can say both the assumptions are not implied. That's option D. Okay, very simple. Statement: if you are beautiful will catch your beauty, if you are not will make you beautiful. An advertisement of a photo studio. Now the assumption: how to look beautiful is a problem of youngsters. See, this is an advertisement of photo studio. Photo studio, they will click your photograph, they will play some tricks on the photo. This way they will make you beautiful. This is not an advertisement of a beauty clinic or beauty parlor, right? They cannot make you beautiful. They can present you beautiful, right? So this how to look beautiful is a problem of youngster cannot be implied, okay, from this statement. And nobody desires to be beautiful, this is just contradictory, because the is advertisement mentions that will make you beautiful, right? So this is just contradiction. So finally, both the assumptions are not implicit. Okay, so that's option D. I hope you are getting my point of view. How to look beautiful is a problem of youngster. That's individually can be a right statement or a right correct thought, I can say, but it cannot be assumed, it cannot be taken from this particular statement. Okay, because a photo studio can play tricks on your photographs. In photographs your face can be changed, but actually it cannot change your face, right? So actually it cannot make the photo studio cannot make you beautiful. Now here we are having the same statement: if you are beautiful will catch your beauty, if you are not will make you beautiful. An advertisement of a photo studio. Now the first assumption: a photograph can be beautiful even if a person is not. Yes. See, if this is the advertisement given by the photo studio that if you are beautiful will catch your beauty, if you are not will make you beautiful, that means there is some confidence in the mind of the author that a photograph can be beautiful. We can see so many people, so many film stars are there who are not at all fair, still their photographs, in their photographs they look very pretty, very beautiful, very handsome, right? And even very fair also. So a photograph can be beautiful if a person is not. There is a confidence in the mindset of the author or the photographer that he can make the person beautiful, look beautiful in photograph even if he is not at all beautiful or handsome, right? So this assumption is really implied. People like to be considered beautiful. Yes, that's why this advertisement has been given. People like to be considered beautiful, right? They, whether they are beautiful or not, that's a different thing, right? Because if you are going to a photo studio, you know that your face will not be changed, only your photograph will be changed. In your photograph you'll look more beautiful or more handsome, right? But in actual your face will remain same. Okay, so people like to be considered beautiful. Suppose you see many people, they put like a very attractive photograph on their Facebook profile as Facebook profile. Now everybody is not that beautiful or handsome, right? But they like to be considered beautiful. That's why they get a beautiful photograph clicked and they put as Facebook profile or WhatsApp profile or something like that, right? So this assumption is also valid, and that is the actually purpose of this advertisement, right? So people come to them to get very attractive or beautiful photograph clicked. Okay, so both the assumptions are valid, or we can say implicit. So that's option E. Statement: detergents should be used to clean clothes. The first assumption, detergents form more leather. Now what is the purpose of detergent? Detergents, why do we buy the detergents? We buy detergents to clean the clothes, right? So whether they produce leather or not, that really doesn't matter for us. Okay, what matters for us whether they clean the clothes or not, right? So the purpose of detergent is to clean the clothes, not forming the leather, right? So that it cannot be assumed from the statement, right, that detergent form more leather, right? Detergent should be used to clean clothes. This is the statement, and the purpose of detergent is to clean the clothes, not to produce the leather. So the first assumption is not implied. Detergents help to dislodge grease and dirt. Yeah, that if they are able to dislodge grease and dirt, then only they'll be able to clean the clothes, right? So cleaning the clothes itself means dislodging of grease and dirt. Okay. So second assumption is implied, first one is not. So we have option B, that only assumption 2 is implicit. We must appoint more clerks in our office staff, the manager said to the chairman. The first assumption, clerks are available. Obviously the clerks are available, that's why the manager is making this suggestion to the chairman. He must be having resumes or biodatas of the clerks, or we can say he might have interviewed some of the persons who are ready for this post of clerks, right? So this assumption is implied from the statement. The second is the present office staff is inefficient. See, if you want to appoint more persons, that really doesn't mean that the present strength is inefficient, right? See, the present strength is not sufficient. Insufficient we can say, but we cannot say inefficient, right? So this efficiency or inefficiency is nothing to do with the appointment of new personnel. Maybe they are getting some new projects, and to fulfill the new projects the present strength is not sufficient. That's why they are asking, or they wish to recruit the new staff, right? So the second assumption is not implicit, only first one is implicit, that is option A, right? Statement, if it is easy to become an engineer, I don't want to be an engineer. Okay. The assumption, first, an individual aspires to be a professional. See this, an individual aspires to be a professional, it is a general assumption, but it is not implied from the statement, right? See, I want to be something, you want to be something in your life, I want to be something in my life. But that's a very generalized assumption, very generalized statement I can say, but it is not implied from this statement. In this statement, the author has some particular ambition, right? He wants to do something which is not easy to do, right? If it is easy to become an engineer, he doesn't want to be an engineer. That means he wishes to do something which is not easily earned, but it should be hard earned, right? So the first assumption is very generalized, it is not implied from the statement, right? The second one desires to achieve a thing which is hard earned. Yeah, so that is implied from the statement, because if it is easy to become an engineer, he doesn't want to be an engineer. That means he desires to achieve a thing which is hard earned. Okay, so only the assumption 2 is valid, or we can say implied from the statement, right? Assumption 1 is a general statement, a general assumption, but statement 2 is implied from the statement. The assumption 2 is, the assumption 2 is implied from the statement, right? So that's option B. Statement, this book is so prepared that even a layman can study science in the absence of teacher. Okay, now the assumption 1, a layman wishes to study science without a teacher. See, it is not at all implied, and I don't have to explain the things to you. So this is so simple. See, the book has been done or has been prepared in a very simple manner, so even a layman can study science. right? Sometimes you don't have the facility of coaching, or you don't have the facility of teacher. You cannot go to tuitions or go to coaching. So you wish to have some content, some material, with the help of the particular content you can prepare for your exam or prepare for one particular subject, right? So that really doesn't mean that you don't want a teacher. You want a teacher, but you are not able to have a teacher, right? Because of any reasons, right? So a layman wishes to study science without a teacher. That is a wrong assumption. Okay. So the first one is discarded. Then the second one, the book is a good substitute for a teacher. Uh, See, the statement itself is saying that it is so well prepared that it's very easy to even for a layman that he can study the science in the absence of teacher. That means it is actually a substitute of a teacher, right? So this book is a good substitute for a teacher. So that's the valid assumption, right? So this is implied. Only assumption 2 is implied. Okay. Statement: if you have any problems, bring them to me. You have some problems. See, the author is saying that if you have any problem, bring them to me. Suppose I'm a teacher and you are my student, right? And if I'm teaching you something, and at the end of session, generally what do I say? If you have any problem, you can mail me, right? If you have any doubt, you can mail me. But that really doesn't mean that you always have some problems, right? You may or may not have. Okay, so after completion of this particular session or after completion of this particular book, if you have any problems, just mail me or bring them to me, right? So that doesn't mean you will always have problems or you have some problems. You may or may not have. So the first assumption is not valid, not implicit from the statement. If you have problem, then bring it to me. If you don't have problem, no problem. Right? So the first assumption is not implicit. Second one, I can solve any problem. That is also not implied, because see, I'm a math person. If you bring any science problem to me, I'll not be able to solve that. I can try the problems, but I'm not very sure and I'm not confident that every time I'll be able to solve your problem. Right? I can try the problem. I can go try for the solution, but I'm not sure or I'm not confident that every time I'll be able to solve your problem. Maybe you are to a math person, you are asking an English problem or a science problem, right? So this assumption, even it is not implicit. So both the assumptions are not implicit. So that is option D. In order to bring punctuality in our office, we must provide convenience allowance to our employees. The in charge of a company tells the personnel manager. Okay, the first assumption, convenience allowance will not help in bringing punctuality. See friends, here the motive of this in charge, is to bring punctuality in the office. For that, he wishes to give a reward to the punctual employees, right? And this reward is in term of convenience allowance to them. That means there is some confidence in the mind of in charge that if they provide convenience allowance, then the people will try to be punctual, because they'll be able to get some amount if they are punctual, if they are disciplined, right? So convenience allowance will not help in bringing punctuality. It's like, and it's nowhere related to this statement. It seems to be an individual's opinion, may or may not be right. Okay, but in this case, particularly in this case, the in charge has some confidence in his mind that if he gives convenience allowance, they'll be able to make the employees punctual, right? So this assumption is not valid or not implicit from the statement. It seems to be an opinion of an individual. Okay, discipline and reward should always go hand in hand, right? The same thing, because if they are giving convenience allowance, and because of that, if able to bring punctuality. That means what, right? Why people are being punctual if they get conveyance allowance? Because they are getting reward, right? So it creates a positive mindset among the people that if they go, or if they if they are on time, or if they are punctual, if they are disciplined, they'll be getting some reward, right? So they try to be punctual and they try to be disciplined, right? So discipline and reward should always go hand in hand. That is the correct assumption from the statement. So the assumption second is valid, or I can say implicit from the statement. Okay? Statement: a warning in a train compartment. To stop train, pull the chain, penalty for misuse rupees 500. Okay, some people misuse the alarm chain. Okay, see, this assumption is valid and very well implied from the statement, because if the warning is written over there, that's the penalty is mentioned, that means there is or I can say there are cases when people misuse the alarm chain for their personal purposes, right? So if the warning is there that the penalty will be there for misuse, that means there are some cases of misuse of the alarm chain. So this assumption is implicit. On certain occasions, people may want to stop a running train. Yes, they do require sometimes, if because of a sudden fire, or maybe any accident, because of any accident, it becomes necessary for anybody to stop the train, to stop the running train, right? So, and on certain occasions the requirement is there. That's why there is a facility in the train compartment of the facility of this alarm chain. Otherwise, there is no need of giving this sort of facility if it is not at all required, right? So both the assumptions are valid, implied from the statement. So that's option E. Okay. So some people misuse the alarm chain, because of that penalty is there, and on the some occasion people have to stop a running train. That's why this is the facility. So both the statements are both the assumptions are very well implied from the statement. The statement: the successful man has the ability to judge himself correctly. Okay, assumption 1: to judge other is of no use to a successful man. Here the statement is saying about the ability of a successful people, that he can judge himself correctly. There is no indication whether he is able to judge other person, or whether he requires or he needs to judge other persons or not, right? So this assumption is not at all related with the statement. In the statement, the point is to judge himself, not there is no indication of judging other persons, right? So this assumption is not implied from the statement. The successful man cannot take a wrong judgment. That is also not implied from the statement, because here he has the ability to judge himself correctly. That is, we are talking about, or the author is talking about his ability of judging himself. He may or may not take the decision wrong or right decision, wrong or correct decision, right? So this is also not implied from the statement, because judging ourselves and making judgment, both the things are quite different. If I'm able to judge myself, if I know my capabilities, that really doesn't mean that whatever the decision I'll be taking, that they will be correct or they will be right. Okay, so both the assumptions are not implied from the statement. Statement: the function will start at 3 p.m. You are requested to take your seats before 3 p.m. Last sentence in an invitation card. Okay, that's a very general statement for in any invitation card. Okay, now the first assumption: if the invitee is not in his seat before 3 p.m. the function will not start. So this is a very generalized statement, and that's almost there on all invitation cards. They just give you a time when you have to be there on the function or the premises, right? At the premises, I'm sorry. So this is a very generalized statement. So that really doesn't mean if you do not reach there on time, the function will not start. The function will start as scheduled, whether you reach there on time or not. If you do not reach there on time, you will miss something, right? So this assumption is not implied from the statement. Okay. The second is the function will start as scheduled. So the function will start at 3 p.m. That is the first part of the statement, right? So the function will start at 3 p.m. and it will start as scheduled. That is pretty much implied from the statement. Okay. Because the function may start at 3 p.m. is different and the function will start at 3 p.m. Is different. So function will start at 3 p.m. that means the function will start as scheduled. So this is implied from the statement. Okay. So option B, that is the assumption 2, is implicit. Okay, so friends, we have discussed good number of questions even in this session. In the next session, we'll be taking more questions on statement and assumptions. So do revise this one and the previous one, and you can observe or you can see that I'm not using very high terminologies over here, or there is no specific expertise is required to solve the problems based on statement and assumption. We are just reading the statement carefully and just trying to judge the assumptions when whether we can derive or whether we can whether the assumptions are implied from the statement, and we are just using a common sense and open mind and a generalized point of view. Okay, so bye bye, I'll see you in the next session once again.